Yes, it was, wasn't it? On time. Yes, so your punctuality is being praised. Thank you so much, Farhan. I really appreciate that. Okay, here we are, finishing one more week, and I will have two notes for you. The President of the General Assembly, Mr. Dennis Francis, is on his way back to New York after visiting the Republic of Korea, where he attended the Council of Presidents of the United Nations General Assembly's annual meeting and delivered the keynote address to the event. The former PGAs spoke about the necessity of international cooperation and solidarity in the face of global threats. The discussions focused on the situation in Ukraine, the Middle East, and in other parts of the world facing challenges to peace and security. Whilst in Seoul, Mr. Francis held a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of the Republic of Korea, Mr. Duck-soo. He also was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Park Jin, and paid a courtesy call on his first day in Seoul to the President of the Republic of Korea, Mr. Yoon Suk Yeol. During his guest lecture at the Institute for Global Engagement and Empowerment at Yonsei University yesterday, the PGA learned about the institution's pioneering work in sustainable development, spoke with students about the decisive role youth have in creating a better future, and he stressed to students that this month's events in the Middle East are a sober reminder of just how quickly tensions can rise. And in times of conflict, it is systematically civilians, women, children, and those most vulnerable who suffer the most. After the lecture, Mr. Francis met a 10-year-old girl who told him that she intends to become one day Secretary General of the United Nations. More information on the PGA trip on our website and on his X social media account. Now, the Office of the President of the General Assembly has received 2 letters from member states requesting the resumption of the 10th Emergency Special Session, ESS, called Illegal Israeli Actions in Occupied East Jerusalem and the Rest of the Occupied Palestinian Territory. As you may recall, the GA resolution ES 10/L23, entitled Protection of the Palestinian Civilian Population from June 2018, was adopted under the 10th Emergency Special Session. So the GA decided in 2018 to adjourn the meeting and to authorize the President of the General Assembly to resume the session upon request from member states. So upon the receipt of the letters, PGA Dennis Francis is consulting with member states and the Secretariat to decide on the date of the meeting in the General Assembly. As soon as a decision is made on when the meeting will take place, we will inform you immediately. I will send you an email or I will tell you here, but if the news break before the briefing, you are going to get an email immediately. And on our website, you can find more information on the rules of procedure for the meeting, and I will circulate, of course, the link for all relevant material to you. This is everything I have for today and for this week, my friends. Deji, you have the microphone. Go ahead.
Hi, Monica. Just a clarification on that, which means has at least one of the member states has already requested for the ESS or not?
Yes, that's correct. In order to have an ESS, I mean the resumption of the ESS, you remember it's only a matter of continue the meeting, which is open since 1997, and the last meeting was in 2018. More than one member state has to request, so at least 2 member states.
So has the PGA office received the request?
The PGA received 2 different letters with more than one member state requesting it. So the first letter, 3 member states, the second letter, 2 member states.
Okay, so we know that after the United States vetoed the draft resolution, technically speaking, the GA has to had an explanation meeting within 10 days, which means this ESS would be reconvened, I think, within 10 days. Would that be the understanding?
Yes, okay. The first part of your question. When there is a veto in the GA, in the Security Council, the GA has to take action within 10 working days. Yes, yeah, more or less, right? So 10 working days. However, when this veto is cast about the same issue, the PGA, as a matter of a rules of procedure, will not convene a meeting about the veto if the letter is the same letter as if the letter sent to the PGA is about the same issue, and it's the same issue, okay? Let's say the Middle East. The PGA will convene, based on the request of member states, an ESS, an emergency special session. It is the same issue.
Yeah, but will that be held in 2 weeks?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. When it comes to the resumption of an emergency special session, there is no fixed time. But of course, the word says emergency, right? So that's why the PGA is consulting with member states to make a decision, and the Secretariat...
What my understanding is, first, you got two things. First is the ESS. That one didn't really request the PGA office to decide whether you are going to reconvene the meeting within 2 weeks. But according to a GA resolution, you have to convene a meeting on the explanation of that veto within 2 weeks.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So what you mean is, if there's an ESS, you can skip the GA resolution on that term?
No, you won't skip. A veto is a veto, okay? Now, since the GA 76, we have a resolution, the so-called the resolution on the veto. And as soon as a veto is cast, the matter goes to the General Assembly within 10 working days. I'm giving you an example. It's an example. A veto is cast about matter A, okay? So it's an automatic process. The PGA has to convene the meeting on the veto within 10 days. However, when a veto is cast about matter A, and the request for an emergency special session is also about matter A, the PGA will decide on the emergency special session. So we are going to have the meeting anyway, because the two requests, one automatically and another one initiated by member states per a letter, is about the same issue. I think it is clear now, Deji?
No, I have to check this.
Okay. Yes. So the PGA is consulting already with member states, and he will make a decision, and with the Secretariat, and he will make a decision about after these consultations on the ESS, the Emergency Special Session. Okay? Go ahead.
Yes,
how are
Monica,
you?
it just just to for anybody out there trying to understand what we're talking about, but
Sure.
like this is there would be the goal that resolution passed 2 years ago to make any permanent member that cast a veto to go and to explain why at the General Assembly. I mean, if this doesn't happen with this veto, because anyway Gaza is going, Israel crisis, we're going to talk at the General Assembly anyway. For what I understand, you're saying that basically because there is an emergency meeting anyway in place, will not be the same thing, that it will not be United States there that had to explain why?
The decision that member states will take in the emergency special session that has been requested by now 5 member states in 2 separate letters will be made and will be decided by member states. Member states get together, they meet in this ESS, the emergency special session, and they decide on which action to take. What it needs to be clear to us is that these letters haven't originated from nowhere. They originated after the veto was cast. So one understands that the veto is an important an important element of these actions by the member states which are requesting. What doesn't make, I understand probably from the rules of procedure, and it's something probably new to us because the veto resolution was approved in 76, 2 sessions ago, is that we have 2 meetings to deal with the same subject. And when it coincides, I would say, the ESS takes place. Yeah. So I hope I will have something to announce to you soon after the PGA consults and meets member states. And I would like to ask you just to be very careful. That I do also, we're all journalists here, with news stories or possible dates that are flying around. I received this morning an information that was going to be on Monday, 10 a.m. It is not. So I will let you know immediately. And I know it's important. You're going to hear from the OPJ's office when this meeting will take place. It will take place. Now it's a matter of when. Member states have requested it. So anyone in, okay, Dulcie here, and anyone on the screen?
Yes,
If
Monica?
you, I see my glasses are so bad. Okay, Hamid, go ahead, and then I have Dulcie here. Go ahead, Hamid.
Yeah. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
And nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I saw the statement issued by the PGA condemning what Hamas did.
Mm-hmm.
He used a very strong language. Normally, he doesn't issue statement on political development and conflict, but he went out of his way to issue that strong statement. Did he issue a statement to condemn the massacre committed in the hospital? Did he issue any statement, expressing concern about the thousands of Palestinians being massacred by bombardment day in and day out? And the church today in Gaza, a very old church, 12th century church, was bombarded, killing 17 people under the rubble. All these developments, I didn't see, at least maybe I'm wrong, he didn't issue any statement condemning any of these developments, especially collective punishment of 2.3 million without water, food, electricity, or medicine in Gaza.
No, thank you, Hamid. And also, first of all, I would like to ask you to stay safe where you are. And I would thank you for taking the time to take part in the briefing. First of all, the PGA has issued not a statement, a statement if you want to say. He has issued a statement on his X social media account immediately after the attacks against Israel happened on the 7th of October. You're absolutely right, you're spot on. He condemned the attacks by Hamas on the 7th of October, which made many civilians, many civilian victims, as we know. And the PGA has been following these developments since then. He has been briefed as well. Also, after the bombardment of the hospital in Gaza, the PGA also issued a statement. And I can send it to you. I also put on our briefing, and it is on his X social media account. It was on the 17th of October, and he said, shocked and horrified by the attack on Al-Ali Hospital in the Gaza Strip today, with hundreds of victims reported. Any attack on hospitals, schools, or civilian infrastructure targeting civilians and taking them hostage is against international humanitarian law and goes against our common humanity. Collective efforts to de-escalate and to facilitate humanitarian access are urgently needed to avoid more bloodshed and more civilian casualties. So he has been condemning the attacks. And he also said in his first statement after the violence erupted that we need a cessation of the violence, that we need de-escalation, and that civilians have to be protected at all times. So he's not mincing his words. He's very clear about his saying, and civilians have to be protected. I mean, when you talk about the church today, again, a church where people go to find solace, to find refuge, to find some comfort to their souls, to trying to work out what is happening to them. Terrible things, as we know, that terrible situation. And they are attacked there. So, of course, there will be investigations on what happened. But right now, we are focused on the people, on the victims. And the PGA's appeal hasn't changed since 7th of October. Cessation of hostilities, cessation of violence, a pathway to peace and to dialogue. But thank you, Hamid, I understand.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Dulcie, go ahead.
So I just want to clarify a few things about this emergency special session versus the veto meeting. So within 10 working days, it looks like that will be by November 1st. Is that correct?
No, that is the time frame for the veto.
That's what I'm asking you about the veto.
That's the time frame
November
for the veto.
1st.
From the day the veto is
Yeah, I
cast.
just looked at the calendar. If you could just confirm, is it
Oh,
November
the calendar.
1st?
Oh, I don't have the calendar here
Okay.
myself, but it's 10 working days, so you have to go there and look
Yeah.
at the calendar. 10 working days. Mhm.
So it sounds like from your explanation, this emergency special session on Palestine overrides a meeting on the
Yeah.
veto. Is
When
that
you
correct?
when you have a request for the same issue, the emergency special session takes place. Mhm.
Where is that documented?
These are the rules of procedure and in the respective resolutions, which I will send to you as soon as we finish here.
Okay, thanks. And
No,
is the
thank you.
United States in touch with your president of the General
The
Assembly
president-
to negotiate these meetings?
The president, there is no negotiation about meetings. When the president of the General Assembly, within the 10th session, that was adjourned and it's being now requested to be resumed, what the PGA does is he consults with the member states. He consults with the secretariat because, of course, there is a matter of the GA hall being available for the meeting. And then the meeting takes place once member states request, more than one member state. In this case, we have 2 letters, 3 member states, and then 2 member states in separate requests. The PGA has to convene the meeting.
So just to be clear, has
Sure,
the
sure.
United States been consulted about this possible emergency special session?
The PGA will consult with all relevant member states, and then when he comes back to New York today evening, he will be here on Monday to have the meetings that are necessary to take action in order to have the ESS. Mhm. Okay, anyone else? If not, I see you on Monday.